They believed that the hospital gave them their baby. More specifically, there were 10 female and 7 male newborn babies. After a few years, the truth came out. But it was already too late. The parents have developed strong relationships with their children. My parents didn't want to put me through such a stressful situation from a young age. After all, they loved me as I am their own blood, even if I was not. As shocking as it sounds, I was then made aware that I have 10 mothers. Both my mom and my dad burst into tears. My mother started cursing my new brother. She started yelling and asking why he came. She was 100% convinced that I will blame them or even leave them as complete strangers, but she was wrong. I didn't blame my parents, not even for a second. I was just shocked by this new information. Can you imagine finding out that you have 9 more mothers, 9 more fathers, and a whole bunch of brothers and sisters? Of course, I am speaking hypothetically. I know that I can only have one mother and one father. But who are they? Are they the people I have been living with my whole life? Or are they people from a different culture, individuals with other values and daily habits? No matter the case, I wanted to meet them. I cannot imagine what my mom and dad were feeling at that moment. Maybe they thought that I would leave them for my real parents. Little did they know, I have always seen them as my only family. Now, back to the story of my long-lost brother. I'm sure that you are questioning why he was looking for me. His adventure began when he met a girl at the same age as his sister, or the girl he was living with. At this stage, we're unaware of who is related and who is not. When he met the girl, he instantly felt a connection. They started talking and bonding. After a while, he discovered that she was born on the same date and in the same hospital as his sister. It was simply too big of a coincidence. He spent months on research and he came upon the hospital's secret. Then he decided to face his parents with the truth. He asked them whether the girl living with him was truly his relative. Even though this was a well-kept secret, his parents decided to reveal the story. Like my parents, they were also introduced to the problem several years after my birth. It was at that particular moment when my brother promised to spread the truth to all 17 babies. He didn't want to participate in this huge manipulation, so instead of keeping us in the dark, he was dedicated to uniting us all. Allegedly, I was the 8th girl baby on his list. He tracked us all and had this difficult conversation with each family. It is little to say that he was our hero. However, I cannot explain how I felt at the moment. It was honestly chaos of emotions. I felt anger, sadness, happiness, but ultimately I was thankful for the truth. But what path should I have chosen? I couldn't decide whether to ignore the facts or go looking for my biological parents. I was 20 years old, and I had no idea who I was, where I come from, and who are my parents. These past 3 months have been a roller coaster of emotions. Now, you're asking yourself why I didn't immediately take a DNA test. It sounds really simple, but you wouldn't feel that way if you were in my shoes. My parents weren't the only ones who were frightened of the truth. I thought that once they discover that I'm not their child, they would abandon me. At the moment, I was scared of reality. It was easier to ignore the issue and live in a world of my own. However, there is an end to every fantasy. The ultimate question that determined my destiny was, what if I fell in love with a relative? What would happen if I met my long-lost brother on the street? Well, I would be unaware that we were associated with him. And at this age, one thing leads to another. No one can guarantee my safety if I choose to live in a bubble. So I decided to be brave, to discover my roots and true identity. I wanted to know